Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in less than 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Well, let's jump right into it. First question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey everybody, my name is Diehl, and I am a real estate investor and agent. I also spend a lot of time in the outdoor industry. I own a rental company, and I love having fun and enjoying spending time getting to know people.
You're a true multitasker.
You betcha.
That's awesome. Second question, what's the best part about working with a team?
Being able to engage other skill sets that people have. I think each of us as individuals have, our own skill sets, but there's also gaps. When you have the right people in the right place on your team, you can enhance whatever it is that you are doing because you're engaging other people's skill sets, their talents, their abilities in a way that you couldn't do on your own.
Great comment. Great comment. Question number 3, I hear from other leaders of teams that it can sometimes be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell me your thoughts on that.
I would say the first thing is you have to be a visionary. You have to be able to enroll your team in the vision that you have, but you also have to learn how they operate and what makes them excited about the vision that you have. If you can understand really what makes somebody tick, they will be so bought into your vision that no matter what happens, they're willing to stick it out with you to the end of time. So it'll be.
That's a great comment. Thank you. Question number 4, what other piece of advice do you have for leaders of teams?
I would say make it fun. I think, this current pandemic that we've had has changed the way many companies operate. And it's given like a whole new dynamic to team involvement and team engagement. I think many companies are struggling with this because they didn't have the right culture in place, but there are other companies that are thriving right now because they had a lot of these pieces in place. So maybe it's just being able to work remotely and getting people closer to their families so they've got a little bit more family time. Maybe it's certain incentives that help people really engage in, again, that company culture and vision. I think another aspect is just when your team knows that you care, they are bought into you and they're willing to help see whatever it is that you have to the end.
That's great information. And I like what you said. I think that there's a lot of companies that they thought they had good culture and good team engagement, and now they're finding that perhaps not. So I think you've nailed it on the head there. That's great. Question number 5, what other successful leaders of teams, such as yourself, have had a positive influence in your life that you'd like to recognize?
Great question. I think some of the bigger ones, John Maxwell, he is by far one of the most influential people to me from a leadership standpoint, just on his thoughts and the way that he operates. I've seen him in action at some of his events, and it's amazing the culture that he's created and the way that people, they understand, they relate to him, and it's amazing what you can learn and do, from somebody like that. I think another person, actually a good friend of mine, he's the one that got me into real estate. His name's John O'Neill. Great guy, super family oriented. And from a leadership standpoint, he followed up with me for 2 years straight about getting into real estate. And that shows a lot about leadership because of his, not just, hey, I want to try and make this sale, or, hey, like, I don't really care about you, but it was so much focus on, hey man, like, what are you doing? What's working right now? How can I help you? It was a support. His leadership role was a support role, and it was, how can I support you? That's what made me finally pull the trigger and want to get into real estate with him. Was I knew he was going to be there because he had followed up with me for 2 years straight.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think going along with that, it's just the persistence. If you've got drive and you've got vision, that persistence, that is such an amazing quality that can be developed, and it shows people that you're not going to give up. And so again, they're willing to bet on you.
I love that. Thank you. Those are great concepts. Well, final question. Tell us about your first job.
Oh boy, let's see. My first job would have been at a bike shop, and this is a great example of not so great leaderships. So I was 15, and up to this point I had done a couple entrepreneurial things and lawn mowing and things like that, but this bike shop was my first real job. I was 15, and it was July 4th, and there was still snow at Snowbird, and I was going to go skiing. And I walked in, and I just said, hey, I haven't taken a day off in a while. I've been really good. We're going to go skiing on July 4th. Can I go? And my boss said, you've got two options. You can either not come back or I'll see you tomorrow. And I said, okay, well, I guess I won't see you tomorrow. And then walked out the door. So the job itself, it was a really fun job. I'd enjoyed the biking industry and getting outside and outdoors. But again, the leadership style and quality there, I haven't had many real jobs, but that one was one of my first introductions. And I think it was that culture and that mindset. It was not like a supportive role. It wasn't like, hey, this is a kind of place where I want to be. I want to go. I want to be like these people. It was a place where I showed up because I had to towards the end of that experience. And that's really what made me say, okay, that's it. I'm done with a job and I'm going to be an entrepreneur from here on out, because I'm going to be able to give people the guiding direction from a visionary standpoint. I'm going to be able to support people in a leadership role, and I want to be able to build something and create something that people want to be a part of. So it was one of those pivotal moments for me that, really helped me define where I wanted to go and who I wanted to be, and being able to do something that could not only support my goals personally, but being able to help support so many other people that relied on me as well.
That's great. And thank you for contrasting the good and the bad there on what engagement and leadership really looks like. That was fantastic. Thank you. Dave, thanks so much for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
Great question. So you can go to my Instagram page. This is probably the easiest. I'm on Facebook as well, but David, S is in Sam, and then the last name is Diehl, D is in Delta, Iehl. And that's just the handle, again, on Facebook and Instagram. If you're looking for outdoor stuff, Oakley Rentals, that's both on Instagram and Facebook, or oakleyrentals.com.
Very good. Thank you. Well, this is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, you can search us on LinkedIn by searching Blue Sky Business Consulting. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day.